welcome to live chat. Hey guys, I guess we're live now. I thought I was going to be on widescreen, but I guess not. So, hi, this is my channel, Lord of the Rains Relaxation Network. I like to specialize in making relaxing videos, but I know other topics since I am here in the Philippines for over 10 years. I just want to let you know the lay of the land and how things work here. And I know what everybody wants to know. They're over here at your bowl of lust filled. And, I'm going to tell you, the truth is, everyone has that in the short term. They all want to come over here and just, live out their fantasies. I understand that. That's okay. So we want to address that. That's the first thing. So, yeah, there are people, women, who want to spend time with you over here. Now, for what reason? We're going to get to two different subjects here. Number one, there are legitimate women here that are looking for a lifelong partner, that want to have a family, they want to have a better future than what's here, what's on the plate here, because there's limited offerings here for people, even with degrees. Maybe you might get a McDonald's job, and you're saying, somebody with a 4-year degree is working at McDonald's? That's the norm here. Maybe if you have a master's degree, you can get a job as a manager at McDonald's, and you're saying, wow, well, that's much different than other places. Well, it's supply and demand. If you have a lot of people with degrees, you can be choosy. And so McDonald's and the other people, they can be choosy. They can turn away 98% and just look for the top creme de la creme. And so maybe these women, maybe they have kids from a previous marriage. Maybe their husband died. Maybe their husband walked out on them. You don't know their situation until you find out. And you should dig deep to make sure that everything is as it seems on the surface. You don't want to find out later that there was an issue, that she's still married to somebody, she's still seeing somebody, that, that does make you feel different about the situation. So, and then there's other women here that just want to spend time if you're going to give them something. Whether you're going to buy them food, whether you're going to buy them clothes, whether you're going to, we call those the material girls. And so it's short-lived as long as you can keep supplying them. And that's anywhere in the world. There are women that are motivated by materials. And as a capitalist, I like good things in my life. Who doesn't? But we don't live for the pursuit of materials. We live for the pursuit of knowledge. And I lived for the pursuit of helping other people through what I have learned through my trials and tribulations. So we can either follow fools or follow the wise men. I try to follow the wise men of any religion, whether that's Islam or Buddhism or Christianity. So let's follow the road through the slow and wise instead of the fast and furious, because usually those people get in car accidents and burn, and then we all immortalize them, like happens in real life. So back to the women issue. So if you come here for a short time, and I've seen people come here and they just want to blow off some steam. They have a lot of money. Maybe they want bragging rights. Thailand is a place people go for bragging rights because they have something called a fish bowl there. The fish bowl is it's like a store. I guess we would call it a store. It's a service. You go there, and all the women are like in a glass room. They're surrounded by glass, and it would be like going to the supermarket and pick out a fresh fish. They stab that fish, and that's what you're having for dinner. That's kind of the same feeling I get. I don't want to eat a woman for supper. I don't have that. I'm not that cannibalistic. I have more inquisitive. I'm looking for a relationship. But some people, hey, the shark type, that's all they want is a fish in a glass bowl. If that's your thrill, that's probably Thailand. The Philippines doesn't have that. I have never seen that here. Is it degrading to women? No, it's a service. They're selling their time for money. Maybe they have bills to pay. Maybe they have kids to feed. Who am I to judge? I'm just a guy, amongst a lot of other guys and women who need things. That's called capitalism. It's the need of necessity. What we have here in Angeles is we have a lot of go-go bars, and I would call them that because they have some shows, some dancing shows. Is it equivalent to Vegas? No, it's more of a parade. They want to parade the people working for them. These are the bar owners and the mama-san. That means a manager of the women. And you'll see them. They're usually older, meaner, and larger. They're outside the club. They're the ones who either tell a girl she can go out for the night, or they discipline them. And there's a papa-san too. I guess they got these words from Japan. I don't know. It's a strange mix. So here in Angeles, you have something called Walking Street, and it's world famous. It used to be a lot more people. There was a lot more clubs. There was a lot more women. And then COVID hit, and you'll see some of my videos. There's some that are really boring, and that's the one I shot during COVID. During that time, everything was shut down. Many of these girls got stranded here in Angeles because they're not from Angeles, they're from other cities. But at that time, all of the bus service died, everything was closed. They wouldn't even let them back into the other towns because it was a lockdown. They didn't want COVID to spread. So those people were high, dry, and desperate at the time. I guess they survived. We're all still here. I don't see a lot of the homeless people out begging anymore. I don't know what happened to those people. Continuing, so there's a lot of bars that have women. You can go and drink there. Excuse me. And the trick is you're supposed to buy them drinks. And what does that mean? It's another way for the bar to make money. I don't know if my internet's slowing down here or not. I see my camera looking kind of wobbly. So I'll wait for a second, see if it's going to catch up. Oh, the background piano music is from my neighbors. They are practicing the piano. So how it works here is you go into a bar, there's a lot of beautiful women, and they say, oh, do you want to sit with me? Will you buy me a drink? So in some of the bars, they give them like pineapple juice or something like that. You pay, let's say, $8 for the girl's drink, and then yours might be $4 for a bottle of beer, and they make part of that money. They split it. Many bars do not have a bar fine, but the ones that have a bar fine, there's a lot of turmoil about, is it legal, is it ethical? I'm just going to tell you what it is. A bar fine means you get to take the girl out. You have to pay a service charge to take her out. And whether you're taking her to McDonald's or something else, that's between you and her. That would be between you and her, whatever else happens. It doesn't, pertain to the bar. Let's see what else. There's a lot of people standing around in that area. If you want to go with them to McDonald's or coffee, then you go talk to them. And the Department of Health in the Philippines, it says that it takes the girls who work in bars, requires them every month to do some type of a blood test to make sure they don't have any problems. I can't confer or deny that happens. That would be up to you to decide. It's your choice if you want to go talk to this girl, if she has typhoid or not. I don't know whatever else. It's up to you and the risk you take with talking to anybody. And you say, well, how is that different than going to a bar in Austin, Texas, where there's a girl at the bar? Maybe she's a customer. And I don't know, she's never been tested. Who do you know who you're talking to? Well, That's just how it goes. I don't know if she's in the business of spending time with other guys. Who knows? But that's what it is. Here, these women are in the business of spending time with other guys, and maybe their boyfriend and maybe their kids. They have to divide their time up to make some money, to spend some money, and so uh, do we call it other stuff? You know, in the United States, we have a label for everything. Should we really go around the world and label everything? Well, that's the mentality of some. Uh, I don't know what to tell you. It'll be up to you. It's left to your own conscience. I can tell you that people need to eat, their kids need to eat, rent needs to get paid. So they got to do something for money. If there's no job or if this is the life that they choose, so be it. I'm not here to condemn anybody or try to judge anybody. Uh, you always need to be careful. When people drink, bad things happen. I mean, drinking alcohol. Number one, pickpockets. Number two, bar fights. Number three, drunk driving. And number four, actually get beating to death. And you're saying, well, getting beaten to death? Yeah. So here in the Philippines, foreigners usually drink with foreigners. And people who are not foreigners, they drink in bars. Usually that's for those people. So there would be a Filipino bar and like a foreigner bar. And you're saying, what's the difference? Because when people get drunk, they act differently. And it wouldn't be the first time that some foreigner, namely American, has been to a Filipino bar and maybe things were said when people are drunk, or maybe something was misunderstood, maybe there was jealousy, maybe there was rivalry. Somebody didn't survive. Namely, they were beaten to death by two or three people, and the person went in a coma and died. And that would be the case. I think it's Tacloban. I think it was an American a couple years ago, and he had been all over the world shooting photography, and I guess he was teaching down there. I think that's the story for that one. But it happens, you know. Of course, who am I to say you couldn't go to a bar in Chicago, Detroit, Miami, and have the same problem, you know? So I'm not saying, in fact, the statistics of you getting killed in the Philippines, very, very, very low. Unless you go out at night to bad places where people are doing drugs, or unless you're involved in some type of organization that's illegal, you probably have a good lifespan here. I would say 99.99999%. Other places, if you want to turn to the life of crime, there's no need to get arrested. When I lived in Malaysia, the robbers and the bank robbers over there, they shoot it out in the end because they know the police are not going to take them alive. So they just, you know, it's to the death. And so was I impressed or unimpressed? It was an eye-opener. I don't think I would turn to the life of crime if I lived in Malaysia. The Malaysian police, they're very effective. And what can I say? That's the way they do it in Malaysia. In Indonesia, crime, I think there's a lot of petty crime. Just like here, it goes with poverty, petty crime. You can get your purse snatched in Japan. It's a petty crime, but it's a very wealthy nation. But you'll always have criminals. And so that gets us back to Walking Street and Burgos and other places like that where there's a lot of people around. Um, you have to be careful of trike drivers or taxi drivers, anybody to take advantage of you. Just be careful. When I get into a taxi, if it's kind of late at night, I go ahead and snap a photo of the license tag of the taxi and maybe even take a photo of the driver and tell the guy, hey, I just sent this to my buddy. I just wanted to let him know who I was with. And if that taxi driver has anything bad on his mind, maybe now you have sterilized the situation. Maybe you've negated your danger a little bit, because now he knows if something bad happens to you, his face is already known, and his taxi cab number, maybe even his license is known. It depends on what you take a picture of. And you're saying, well, isn't that extreme? Well, before, whenever I would send my wife somewhere in a taxi, the people really flip out. They think I'm crazy because I take a picture of the front of the car, I take a picture of the back of the car, I take a picture of the driver, I take a picture of his license. They really don't want to take my wife anywhere. And I said, look, this is for protection. If anything happens to you, and I say kuya, that means brother. I say kuya, if anything happens to my wife, we know who you are. We know your taxi number. We know everything. So I really think it ensures a little bit more safety. Um, there was a scam for a while in Manila that people, I don't know how they got, I don't know if they paid for someone or it was a swap out. The guy driving the taxi would not be the guy in the photo. And so I don't know if that corrected itself, but when you get in a taxi, you should really look at the photo of the taxi driver's. His license is supposed to be visible, and then look at the guy driving. If it's not the same, tell him you forgot something, make up an excuse, stop that taxi and get out. Worst case scenario, if you're really afraid for your life, wait till they stop at a red light and open the door and just get out and run the opposite way. So if the taxi's, pointing forward, run to the back of the taxi and keep going down the street where he can't get to you. If it's a problem, they think that you're dodging the fare. The police might think that. If it comes down to you, the police, and the taxi driver, you explain, I thought there was a problem. I had heard in the news that, taxi drivers are impersonating, trying to rob people, and it really does happen, and that you're very happy to pay the fare. That gets me back to the other point. Let's say that you're somewhere in Manila and you need a taxi, and so you say, hey, taxi. Well, they will run over to you, roll down the window, and ask you where you're going. And you'll say, I'm going to ABC. They'll say 500, and you know that it only costs about 90 or 100 pesos to go there. They want 500. Well, it's a type of we call it white price, but it's not white. It can be any foreigner. It's called foreigner price. And I say, no, kuya. I said meter. We're going to do the meter. And the second negotiation that might happen, either they're going to drive away or they're going to renegotiate with you. They're going to say meter plus, and they might say meter plus 100. And if it's raining and there's no other taxis, that's an extra $2.20. So usually I say meter plus 50, because I was already going to give them like a 30 or 40 peso tip. So meter plus 50. If it gets you in a safe taxi, has an air con, nice seats, and you're off the street, it's so hot or it's raining, it's worth it to, what is your life worth? Is it worth $2.20? I've seen other people, when it really rains, the taxi drivers just really want to rip people off. So they would say, instead of like 500, they would say like 3,000, which is $60. They're going to have to drive through some floody water, but they would have for anybody. So instead of it being like 800 plus a tip, now they're going to charge you 3,000. Some people give in and do it. I guess it depends on how desperate. If you have Grab is really great. I use Grab in Malaysia. I never had a problem. No one ever tried to rip me off. And I have to say, in the Philippines with Grab, I've never been trying to rip off. They're really nice people because they're worried about the reviews. On a taxi, they're really not worried about reviews. So what can I say? I have left my phone in a taxi before. When I called it, some people answered. And my gosh, they were the nicest people. They actually came back and gave me my phone, and I tried to, give them a reward, and they wouldn't accept it. Wow, that's a really, really nice people. It usually doesn't end that way. It usually ends, I don't know, some people just keep your phone. Okay, so going back, there's something called a girlfriend experience here. Now, what is that? Well, that's different than like picking a girl off the street or meeting a girl in a bar. A girlfriend experience, it could be arranged through other people, even a taxi driver. If you say, hey, I'm looking for a girl to spend time with, he might know some people who would call up and say, hey, you're not doing anything. You don't have a job. Do you want to spend time with this foreigner? Anybody who knows somebody, it could be an introduction service like that. You can find people on Date in Asia, Filipino Cupid, plenty of fish. And that brings me to my next thing. The girlfriend experience, it's another type of materialism, material girl. You're going to give her money and or stuff, and she's going to babysit you. She can do the translation, so you can look at it like maid slash translator slash personal assistant. You can size it up and try to put a nomenclature and call it whatever you want to. It is what it is. Make sure at the end of your deal, you didn't get anything stolen, credit card numbers. Make sure the person is, you didn't catch any sickness, tuberculosis, just things like that. Mind your P's and Q's. And let's see what else. Introduction services. There's places where people live. Lots of women live that don't have anything better to do. There's introduction services. You could get that person. You could get a nanny from there. You could get a babysitter. Just look at people's qualifications. That's all I would say. Make sure people are not drug addicts unless you're willing to accept the problem. Alcoholics or drug addicts, you really don't want that. But it is nice to have someone who speaks the local language, especially if you're sick or you need help or something's complicated, like there's a financial transaction, buying a car, renting an apartment. I can't tell you, based on frustration level, how much it is to be just super frustrated and something lost in translation. It's worth their weight in gold. Even if the person is not the greatest character, even if you have problems, you don't match up that well, just for the translation services, it's priceless. What if your life depended on it? What if you say that you have a heart problem? Like, let's say you're in Thailand, you say, my God, I have this chest pain. What if the people at the hospital didn't have a translator? Well, if you had your bar girl slash interpreter slash personal assistant slash massage girl, if you had that girl with you, it might save your life. So I don't believe in the power of one. That's a stupid thing. I believe in the power of two or three, which brings me to another word, entourage. If you can support, sorry, if you can support having an entourage in the Philippines, and I don't mean some soiree, some type of, illegal, too many women and something like that. I mean, a lot of friends that you meet here, mostly women. I would like to hang out with a lot of women. But everybody carries their own weight. And you say, well, why would you want to be with more than one woman? Okay, here it is. At the end of the day, my gosh, maybe you're tired from lifting suitcases. And if you just have one girlfriend, if she's not on the phone chatting with other people, maybe she wants to hang out with another girl and watch TV or chit chat or something like that. Tell her to bring one of her friends along, as long as, everything's manageable. They don't get on your nerves or something, but it's really helpful. What happens if one of them, your girlfriend, has to go home? Maybe her mom's sick. Now you don't have anybody to be with. And I'm telling you what, don't be alone in a foreign country. I wouldn't even be alone in my own country. You need always to have somebody with you. That's how we fight loneliness and depression. Have somebody else to spar with. Even, it's better to have a little bit of a difficult. Would you say it's better to be lonely or have a difficult relationship? They both suck. But at least if you fall down, your difficult relationship girl might be able to call 911. I would hope so. Or if something bad happened to you, just remember that. If you have a dog, he's not going to call 911. People put so much faith in pets. That's a fool's game. Right now, if you watch TV, they have all these people called shut-ins, or I don't know what the name in Japan. I forgot the name. There are these older people that grew up watching anime and freaking, buying manga comics and stuff and believing all about this futurism. Well, their parents got old. They couldn't find any job because Japan wants to really grind your bones into dust. They want, dance on the backs of the poor. That's the way their society was created past World War II with the help of America. Now these people are like jobless and hopeless and starving in Japan, one of the richest nations. Why? Because I was just watching a documentary on the future of robots in Japan, and what a crap. What can I tell you? That they put all this time and effort, and they think that these rubber-faced robots, which are just overgrown toys for idiots, that AI is going to come in there. Maybe it can help you at a dentist office with your appointment, but it certainly can't. It's not the same as a human touch. And so one of the problems, and I hope America doesn't go there, we've lost the human touch. Japan has really lost it. Now their birth rate has gone down. People don't want to date. They don't want to have kids. You would say, well, is that industrialization? Is that capitalism? No, I would say it's a convoluted dogma. I would say it's a corrupt dogma. Can you say it's based on Buddhism? No, I can't say that because Thailand doesn't have this. I think it's based on a few people spreading an ideal about we're all going to be mecha and part machine. The only people I know that are part machine, maybe somebody on a lung machine, ventilator, somebody's arm was blown off in Afghanistan. Yeah, they're mecha now, right? But for Japan, I really feel sorry for these people. Drugs is not the cure. They really need to be with other people. Isolation is not good. Reading manga and isolating yourself, I hope that doesn't, spread worldwide. Um, let's see. Okay, so back to you found the love of your life, or at least for a while, and until you find a new love of life. What are you gonna do? Well, there's a lot of movie theaters here in Manila. There's some here in Angeles City also. And there's an aquarium. There's amusement parks. There is a zoo. They updated the Manila Zoo, so I'm very happy about that. And then as one of my other videos, you can go to Batangas. And Batangas is like a place. I'm trying to think. It's called Batangas Pier. You go down there, you can catch a boat. From Batangas, you can catch a boat to Mindoro, and then you can go to White Beach. You can catch a ferry to the main city of Mindoro Island, and then catch a jeepney and watch my video about pickpockets in jeepney. Or you can catch a trike through the mountains if it can make it up the hill, unless you're fat like me, and then maybe you have to walk a bit as the trike tries to catch up to you. White Beach and Puerto Galera are nice. I wouldn't swim with an open cut because they've been doing testing and the E. coli levels might be a little high. You'd have to check with the local thing there, but the beach sure is nice. And the forest is really nice. Fresh coconut. This is like the fresh life. I read about and watch videos about West Virginia. It is what do they call it? A food oasis. I hear that in so many places, like even let's say Pittsburgh or some of these other places, a food oasis. And for me, it's really shocking. They have a lot of land. They could farm in West Virginia. I don't know, maybe the climate is not suitable, maybe potatoes or something like that. I don't know what you can grow in some of these northern climates, but here, this is not a food oasis for fresh fruit and fresh vegetables. You can get them everywhere. So that's why people live healthy here. It's not cold here. Maybe in the mountain it gets cold. Um, so the other things you can do once you find the love of your life is you can go to Boracay. That's the most famous island. It's pricey. The food is, but not compared to anything in America. My goodness. So you would either fly there, which is pretty cheap, or you would catch one or two boats, and it would take you to Caticlan. I think that's the name. Yeah, Caticlan, not Calapan. They all sound the same. That would take you there, and then you take another small boat to the secluded island of Boracay. Sometimes it's full of tourists. You would have to check. Sometimes it's hotter than heck. You would only go out after 4, something like that, or 5 when it's not just blazing hot. Unless you like to go out and try to get third-degree sunburn, those places are best for evening and morning. Those types of beaches. Same thing with Pattaya, the island in Thailand. There's an island. I think it's Koh Pho, something like that. I'm sorry, I don't know the name, but it's 30 minutes by a little boat there. During the day, it's unbearable. The heat, it would just kill you. And if you go out into the water, you better have a hat, because if not, it's just going to reflect on you and turn you into a lobster. So same thing here. You can find other beaches if you go to Quezon province, not Quezon City. There's some black beaches there because the volcano underneath there generated some black granite maybe. There's brown beaches. There's only a few white beaches. Another place you might want to consider going is Siquijor. It's a less crowded island off of Cebu. Cebu is nice. It have whale watching. Palawan, I haven't been there yet, but it's another famous destination. And if you get tired of the destinations here, you and your girlfriend, if she has a passport, maybe you can go to Hong Kong or Thailand or Indonesia, Kuala Lumpur, other places like that. Anything else? Let's see here. If you find a new love of your life, make sure she has all her vaccines. That, if she's willing to get some vaccines, I would get her vaccines. Typhoid, flu vaccine. I really believe in that. Prevention is the best answer. If you're coming here, do get some off lotion. In my other videos, I talk about dengue, malaria. They even have malaria in some remote places, so be sure and wear your off lotion. Anything else? Don't eat street food. If you do, like I say, you need to bring your bentonite clay, the edible version. It's powdery in a bag. Keep in the original bag so they don't think you're a cocaine mule when you go to the airport. Activated charcoal and turmeric tablets. You should buy all that. It really will help if you ingest them. Very pathogenic food. Go see a doctor regularly here. They have some salts. Pedialyte. I think that's what it's called. Pedialyte. Anyway, it's salt for dehydration. You should always keep that on you. Always have a bottle of water and a couple of these rehydration salts. That's what they call them in other countries. You really need that. If you suffer dehydration, you don't have that. You can have a lot of pain, and you could die from dehydration, severe dehydration. It's not a good thing. Right now, we've entered the rainy season here. It's about 70% humidity, and the temperatures now will be a little cooler. They'll be in the 90s, but before the humidity was low and the temperatures were close to 100 a day. And you can hear the cicada bugs are singing behind me. with my tent and the avocado trees. And like I say, the Philippines is a tropical island. There is food everywhere. They grow so much fruit and vegetables. And compared to America, you have to go to the supermarket, and then the produce is all, from farms. I don't think too much local. It's all bussed in or brought in by trucks. So here, you can actually buy from the farmers. So I compare this to the Father Knows Best island. That's what I'm going to call it, because it's like stuck in the 1950s. Some of the transportation, but that's a good thing because it's really not processed and they don't have too much chemicals, too much additives. If you look at what happened to America and some of the other countries, the obesity rate, number one, God didn't intend for people to grow all these different corns and, rape seeds and stuff like that and squeeze the oil out. And, peanut oil, it was never intended for you to eat peanut oil and hydrogenated oil. These are just evil people creating something for profit. And what did it do to Americans before, and Canadians, and people from Kuwait and other places too? The obesity level, even Brazil, the obesity level is really high. So every time you stop at one of those Starbucks, you need to think about it. In the 1940s and 50s, maybe they had a tablespoon of sugar in a drink like that. And now I would say half the drink, if not 40%, is just table sugar. It's the worst stuff. Even breakfast cereal, they're explaining that the starch, it just becomes sugar. That's why people can live on alcohol, because alcohol is sugar. So if you drink alcohol and don't drink anything, I mean, you don't eat anything after you drink alcohol, it becomes glucose, and you can live on glucose. You don't need other stuff. So that's how alcoholics survive. Well, there's not much different than people eating breakfast cereal all the time. As soon as you eat it, it just becomes straight sugar. White rice, it should be banned. If you want to ban stuff like the World Health Organization, white bread, white rice, white flour, that's a start. All these other oils, if you're not using coconut oil, if you're not using some other type of olive oil, people used it for centuries and they lived the Mediterranean diet. They lived so long. And then look at people now dying in their 50s and 60s, heart failure and, diabetes. Who makes money on that? Doctors make money on treating diabetes. The people who make insulin make money. Insurance companies make money. Everybody makes money. The people who sell sugar, the Starbucks, the many different companies, McDonald's, they're all in the hand of it. Here, if you want to see the healthiest people I've ever seen, Okinawa, they don't have a lot of fast food. They eat a lot of pork fat, believe it or not. They probably don't eat too much white rice. And the other people are the people in the mountain provinces here, way up in the high altitudes. Number one, it's not so hot, so they don't have a blood pressure problem. Number two, they eat this dark black rice that they grow. It's kind of like Uncle Ben's wild rice minus all the salt. I love Uncle Ben's wild rice. I wish they had it here. It's addictive. But they don't have that much salt. But these people, they average age is 100. They don't have medical conditions. They don't have other, problems like that. Why? Because they don't have processed food. And you're saying, well, your place is like a 1950s throwback. It is. But now we have something equivalent to Costco. And if you go into the province of the Philippines, you're going to see as God made people, mostly healthy people. People don't overeat. They're really in touch with nature. They eat natural stuff. They're not fat. They're the best they can be. And then when you come into the city, you're going to see people who eat more and more processed food. And you're going to go to something the equivalent of Costco. It's called S&R. It's just a copy of Costco. And my gosh, as soon as you hit the door, you're really going to think you're back in America now, even though this is not America, because people have gained weight. Why? Because they're eating breakfast cereal, they're eating all the prepackaged frozen crap from, America. It's sad that, processed food, and it costs a lot of money. My gosh, if you go there, it's probably double or triple what you're paying in America to get fat, because it's hard to get fat in a poor nation. You can eat a lot of fruit, you won't be fat, and you probably won't be poor either. But that's healthy. And so, what else can I tell you? Uh, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Even, and you think, oh, what's this guy talking about? Even in marriage. So let's say you got married, right? And a lot of people, I've seen them, they just go crazy. Maybe they found out their wife has some secrets. Maybe she's seeing another guy. Maybe they're taking some of his money. You can watch the Phil Donahue of Philippines, and it's called the Raffy Tufo Show. I think that's his name, Raffy Tufo. He's not a lawyer. He's like Phil Donahue. He's not even a manufactured drama. It's real drama from these people. He just gets the most dramatic people on there. And my gosh, there's so many people who some people die because they kill each other over this. And I'm saying, please don't do that. Please, you have a go bag. And what is that? It's a bag that have your emergency money, maybe your passport, maybe something like that. If something become really crazy between you and your wife, you and your girlfriend, I'm telling you, bail. If you have kids involved, it's not as easy. You have to take care of your kids, but there's no reason to let something come to blows. There's no reason to spill blood between you and your wife. Violence is not the answer. Separation would be the answer. And if you have to, that's it. Discontinue communication, cut off ties, take the kids with you or support the kids. Life goes on. So, don't come over here and fall in love and then find out the woman has an ex-husband she's still seeing, or she lied to, she was married before, and your marriage is fake. It happens. I'm sure it happens in other countries. But don't fall for it. Protect your money. There's so many people that come over here and just, they give their wife all their money, and then, oh my gosh, it happened again. The woman take all the foreigner's money, she spend it, give it away, and then he find out she's cheating or something like that. Oh my gosh, it's the same story over and over and over. Even if you get married, put some money in an account for your wife to do some stuff with, but protect yourself. Does she have a right to it? I guess she does, yeah. But what happens if she goes crazy and spends her half of the money, or even more? What if she spends all the money? So you really need to be your own financial wizard. You need to protect your interest and protect the interest of your kid and everything else. I want you to be Father knows best, even in this 23rd century, 21st century, whatever the heck, 2023. Everything is topsy-turvy in America now. People are chopping off their entrails and who knows what. It's a really crazy time. The power of the family is almost nothing now. Conservative values, we're seen as traitors. I'm a very conservative person. Even though I'm progressive in thought, I have conservative values. I want the best for my family. Some people don't care about family. There is no abortion here. That's another thing. So, guys, don't run around starting families that you're not going to be with. There is no abortion here. If you decide that you and your lover, your woman, want to have a baby, you're going to have a baby here. That's all I can say. There's a lot of kids here that don't have fathers. Maybe they're addicts or alcoholics, or he couldn't get along with a woman. That's foreigners and locals alike. You need to step up to the plate and be a real man. And a real man takes care of his kids, even if he's not with the baby's mom anymore. you need to write a check every month. You need to make sure your kids' needs are met, and you need to spend time with them. So don't do that other stuff that happens in, America, where there's so many people are fatherless and the kids run around with no, person to look up to, no role model. I want you to be the role model for your children. Don't do crime in this country. Don't do anything illegal. Uh, you could wait years, even if you're accused and in jail, you could wait years for a trial, years. And then they say, oh, we find you not guilty. But I spent 10 years in jail waiting for this trial. Have a nice day. So this is not the place, guys. Don't come here and do anything illegal. Be a good citizen and be a good Canadian, good Australian, good American, New Zealand, wherever you're coming from. You can find what you're looking for. Uh, what happens when you find everything you're looking for and then you say, I'm looking for something else now? Well, that's okay. That's called adaptation. And then you just keep finding what you're looking for in life. Try to be satisfied somewhat. Don't be the guy who just, after he finds something, he throw it away, he keep looking. Eventually you'll find what you think you need. If your needs change, that's okay. But just don't be discarding women or relationships like they don't have any meaning. They do. It's up to you to find the best of yourself and bring that to this country. It's a great place to retire. It's a great place to live. I've lived in many, many countries. Each has their positive and negative. I visited Taiwan 2 times recently. Those people there are not prepared for war. They don't even have weapons. I mean, the local people just walk around driving buses and working at 7-Eleven. It's a really beautiful place. It has beautiful mountains. You should visit there before you come here. This place can be like that in the future, but this place is it's very family oriented. All right, that's all for now. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day, and please subscribe to my videos. Let's see if I can turn this off now. Don't know how to end it. We shall see how to end the live chat. Talking. Let's see here. Can't see my phone very well. All right. See the other buttons here. That's the other one. Welcome to the chat. Guys, I'm new with this. Okay, save highlight, share. Nope, that's not it there. I'm sure there's a way here. To do. I can't say I'm technologically advanced. Okay, well, since I don't know how to stop the chat, I will revert to nature. So we're going to watch nature for a while. Okay, guys, enjoy. Get it?